If you're a more early stage agency owner, there's a very good chance that you're going to kind of enter a lonely chapter, or perhaps you're already there, to where your old friends, maybe from your old school or from your old job, you don't really connect with anymore, and you kind of don't see the reality and you don't see the world in the same way as they do. But you're still early stage, and you're not really at the level yet to where the bigger players in your space want to connect with you and want to be friends with you. So really everybody at some point is going to have to go through that lonely chapter where they evolve and they kind of become that person. So what I want to do for you step by step is show you exactly what that lonely chapter kind of looks like so you can be prepared for it, and then show you exactly how to overcome it and push past that as quick as possible. Okay, and if you don't know who I am, I'm Matt. I built an agency and now I'm building a coaching business, basically teaching people what I did with the agency and still do with the coaching business. And really the entire goal with what we do is we help more early stage agency owners hit that $10, $20, $30,000 per month mark. Now really the first and most important things, we need to understand why this happens in the first place. So let's say, I'm just going to give you a random example. Let's say you were in university, maybe you're doing a course you didn't really like, you had some friends that you kind of got along with, and then you maybe you even dropped out, you took some drastic action, and now you're going all in on a business. Your old friends don't really see the world the same way that you do anymore, right? Sounds a bit cringy, but there's a Sam Ovens kind of quote that I always like to use, where there's a shift from a kind of civilian mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset. And so when you make that shift, even when you're kind of an entrepreneur and you're just getting started, you've already mentally made that shift. And your old friends from uni or from your high school or from your job, like I said, or wherever, they're not really going to be able to see the world in the same way as you. And they're going to be doing things, they're going to be partying, they're going to be wasting their time, they're going to be scrolling, they're going to be doing things that don't really correlate with how you want to live your life anymore. So just naturally, you're going to kind of move away from them. Or maybe you might take some drastic action and cut them off completely, right? And the people that you do want to be hanging out with, the people who are entrepreneurs, the people that are successful. If you're just starting out, you're an entrepreneur. Maybe you don't have any clients, maybe you only have a few. You're not really at a point where financially, or even just in terms of status, you're in a position to be hanging out with these kind of bigger players, right? Maybe you're not in a position just yet where it's comfortable for you to move out to a different country completely, or maybe if there's some personal reasons why you can't. And so for you, at least physically, you're pretty lonely. Now, the first thing we need to do is understand that this is something that happens to everybody. It happened to me. Like I said, it's going to happen to you. It's not some big, bad, scary thing. Everybody goes through it. Everybody is able to overcome it, okay? And if anything, it's a good thing. Because here is where we can really isolate the tasks that we need to do to kind of become he who can and get yourself out of that lonely chapter, okay? This is a evolutionary period in your life, and it's arguably one of the most important periods of your life you're probably ever going to face. Is this period where you're lonely, your social life is kind of regressing, and your sole focus and 100% of your mental energy and effort is going into your work and is going into progress. So in this kind of chapter of loneliness, I want you to live by one very simple equation, okay? And that equation is work times resistance equals pain. Pain to the power of time equals win, okay? So let's break that down. Work times resistance equals pain. So the work is the high leverage, important needle moving work. If you have an agency, it's probably doing outreach, it's probably taking sales calls, it's probably posting content, right? The actual important work. So when I say work, working on your website is not work, right? It's cope work. Doing lead sourcing for 10 hours instead of cold calling when you can get someone else to do your lead sourcing is cope, right? Fixing your logo or changing your business name, it's cope work, and it's that this is not included in the equation. So real work then times resistance. So resistance is, as we talked about time and time again, that kind of force that your old self puts onto you when you're doing the right thing, right? So it could come up as, like I said, procrastination or doubt or any one of these kind of manifestations. It's all resistance. So work times resistance equals pain, right? When you fight the resistance with the hard, important work, you create pain, right? And not any type of pain. We specifically create growth pain. And this kind of growth pain, especially in this lonely chapter, is exactly what we're solving for. It's the most important thing, because of the next part of the equation, growth pain, or we just call it pain, pain to the power of time equals win. So the more you can stack that pain and sit in it over time, the more you're going to win. And I can tell you right now that this lonely chapter for you might last 3 months, it might last 6 months, it might last 2 years. The only way out of it and the only way forward is that pain. So you can bundle up all of that pain and get it over with in 3 months. Or you can procrastinate, you can do a lower amount of work, you can kind of wait things out, and you can have that lonely chapter be 1 to 2 years, which of course I'm assuming you don't want, okay? So at the end of the day, it's very, very simple. There's a quote that I always come back to. I believe it's actually from Charlie Morgan, to where hitting 10K per month and getting out of this lonely chapter, it's simple but hard. There's nothing fancy you need to do. The steps are right in front of you. I've laid them out for you. There's millions of hours of content laying it out for you. It's simple. It's understandable. Do you know what you need to do? It's just hard. That's all it comes down to. Okay? If you are an early stage agency owner and you do want more help growing the agency, hitting that $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 per month mark, specifically when it comes to client acquisition, the first link in the description is for you. That being said, like, comment, do all the fancy YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay? Bye-bye.